Jumped from the visitor gallery, jumped from bench to bench, hit smoke can in their shoes, tackled by MPs and detained. On day of Parliament attack anniversary, unacceptable security breach in Parliament. Who is answerable for Parliament breach? Our top focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
Horrific incident that's been reported today in Parliament with two men entering the Parliament building, entering Lok Sabha, jumping down from the visitors gallery and then jumping bench from bench, almost making it to the well of the House. They were attacked, beaten up by members of Parliament inside. We're going to be taking you through the entire sequence of what happened. Also, we'll be joined by members of Parliament who were in Lok Sabha when this incident took place to take us through what happened and how they managed to nab these men and hand them over to the guards. Make no mistake, the fact that this has happened on the anniversary of the Parliament attacks rings alarm bells across, that there were serious lapses to the security that must be questioned as well. We'll be focusing on that and much more on this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. A look at the headlines first. India Today accesses first images of the two intruders inside Lok Sabha. One accused identified as 27-year-old Sagar Sharma. Second accused is 34-year-old Manoranjan from Mysuru. Two protesters who set off smoke canisters outside Parliament, identified as Amol and Neelam. All four breach accused detained. Sources say that all of them knew each other. Congress protest against BJP MP Pratap Simha in Mysuru after it comes to light that the visitors pass for intruders was given by this MP. TMC demands Simha's expulsion from Parliament. Other stories that we're tracking this evening. Mohan Yadav and Vishnu Deosai officially take charge as Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh Chief Ministers. Prime Minister Modi leads BJP show of strength in Hindi heartland. 11-year-old girl dies after a long wait in Kerala Sabrimala temple queue. BJP protests against poor crowd management. Chief Minister Vijayan placed down the crisis, says situation is under control and there's nothing unusual happening. And in a big breakthrough in the Mahadev betting scam, Ravi Uppal, who's the app promoter and key accused, nabbed in Dubai. Enforcement watchdog begins deportation process. And let's begin with breaking news that's coming in right now. Protests that have broken out outside BJP MP Pratap Simha's office in Mysuru. Congress workers staging this particular protest. This after the BJP MP came to light as the one who had issued the visitor's pass to the accused intruder, to Sagar. That visitor pass is also with us here on India Today, in which it's come to light that the Mysuru BJP MP gave the nod for him to be in the visitors' gallery. The opposition has cried conspiracy over this, even demanding Pratap Simha's expulsion. Now, because of this, Congress also staged this massive protest in Mysuru outside his office. Anaga Keshav is joining us live with more details on this. Anaga, there's a lot of politics playing out in Karnataka as well. Many demands for action against Pratap Simha. We know that some of the accused are also from Karnataka, from Mysuru. But has there been any statement that's come in from Pratap Simha yet or from his office?
Akshita, as of now, we do not have any official statement that has come. But for now, what we have heard from Pratap Simha's office is that, yes, we did issue the pass to Manoranjan and Sagar and people who were there in the parliament. Yes, it was Pratap Simha's office. But for now, we are yet to get out the details between the kind of relationship he with Pratap Simha, all those things. In fact, even we spoke to the family just a while back. We still do not know what was the kind of equation, how was he introduced to Pratap Simha, or how did he get to Pratap Simha's office in order to get that pass. All those links and connections are yet to be established. But as of now, with my conversation with Manoranjan's father, that we just had, in fact, I was inside his room just a while back taking a look at his, at the kind of books that he read. I spoke to his father and his mother. The father says that he is completely ashamed of the kind of heinous crime that his son has committed. In fact, they come from a farmer background, and even they wanted his son Manoranjan to pursue agricultural line, and they've advised him several times over the years, but he wanted to pursue engineering, and post that he even worked in a lot of private companies. After that, he according to his father, he used to be a voracious reader, and even the father showed us the kind of books that he read. According to the father, Manoranjan was completely influenced by the kind of books that he read. He says that I used to advise him to not sit and read these kind of books, instead read something more, a bit more healthier. But Manoranjan was hell-bent upon reading, reading the kind of books only that he wanted to, and that has led him to do this kind of act, is the father's version. I just had a word with him. This was what the father is saying. And even he said one more thing, Akshita. The father said, no matter what, I know he is my son. Yes, I do love him, but a crime is a crime. If there's anybody who has committed a mistake, then they have to be punished. But, I couldn't talk more because even their mental health was not really in the proper place, and they were not exposed to so much media at once. But for now, what we could gather is that the family says that he is completely influenced by the books that he read, the kind of company that he was in. In fact, when I spoke to some of the residents over here, they told us that this man Manoranjan was kind of a recluse. He wasn't too social. He used to be on his own. He used to be just in his bedroom, just to himself, him and his books, not a lot of friends. That was the kind of nature that Manoranjan had.
Okay, so Anaga reporting there from Mysuru. It's being said that Manoranjan and the other accused said that they're going for a dharna and left their residences. The family in absolute shock, saying they had absolutely no idea that they'd gone to Delhi to commit this kind of a crime, to commit this kind of an attack. Thanks very much, Anaga, for joining us with all of those details. Remember that there have been two incidents of the security breach. One that happened inside Parliament, which was in the Lok Sabha, when you had two men jump over the visitor gallery when the proceedings were underway. When members of Parliament were there, they jumped from bench to bench, yelling slogans, and then took off their shoe, which had these smoke cans inside. Now, initially, of course, there was a suspicion that it could be tear gas, it could be something a lot more harmful, but it turned out that this was just yellow smoke. Two incidents that were reported. Let's run you through, in fact, all the top developments on that. This is a video of the intruders being beaten up by MPs. Parliament members were seen thrashing, punching and dragging the intruders, so they couldn't escape. Two intruders have been detained after they jumped into the Lok Sabha chamber. This was while the session was underway. They've been identified as Sagar, Sharma and Manoranjan. We've also got images now on your screens of both the intruders. Now, moments before what happened inside Parliament, you had a man and a woman identified as Amol Shinde and Neelam being detained for protesting outside the Parliament building. And it was a similar modus operandi in the sense that they were carrying smoke cans too that emitted a yellowish smoke, similar to what we saw in the Lok Sabha. Neelam, in fact, one of the accused, hails from Haryana and was preparing for the Haryana Civil Services. The forensics team was also at the spot collecting samples after the security breach. The area has been marked. Investigation is underway. Now, the intruder was carrying a visitor pass that was issued by BJP MP Pratap Simha. Issuing of visitor passes in Parliament following the security breach has now been banned. Even former MPs' passes have been removed. So it's come to light here on India Today that 6 people were actually involved in this Parliament breach. There were 2 inside who jumped, of course, from the visitors' gallery and then tried to head towards the well of the House before they were detained. 2 outside Parliament, again, who were detained when they were yelling slogans and used these smoke cans. But there are 2 others, one of whom has been identified. The 6th person is yet to be identified. But 2 of them are currently absconding and the investigation is underway. Arvind Oja gets us the latest on on the probe by the Delhi police.
अभी तक जो सुबह से घटनाक्रम चल रहा था, 2 लोग अंदर हिरासत में लिए जाते हैं, 2 लोग बाहर हिरासत में लिए जाते हैं, तो अब तक ये माना जा रहा था कि 4 लोग हैं, लेकिन आज तक को एक्सक्लूसिव जानकारी मिली है, उस टीम ने जानकारी दी है जिस टीम ने इन लोगों से पूछताछ की है, और उसके मुताबिक इस पूरी घटनाक्रम में, इस पूरी कॉन्स्पिरेसी में अब तक 6 लोगों के नाम सामने आए हैं, यानी 6 लोग शामिल थे, जिसमें 5 लोग दिल्ली के बाहर से आते हैं। वो गुरुग्राम में एक शख्स है ललित झा नाम का, जिसका नाम सामने आ रहा है, उसके घर पर रुकते हैं। 13 दिसंबर को वो सुबह गुरुग्राम से निकलते हैं और उसके बाद संसद भवन के बाहर आते हैं, जिसमें 2 लोग बाहर हंगामा करते हैं, 2 लोग अंदर दाखिल हो जाते हैं। 6 लोगों की बात सामने आई है, 4 लोग हिरासत में लिए जा चुके हैं। एक शख्स ललित झा का नाम सामने आ रहा है, उसकी पहचान हो चुकी है, लेकिन 6वां शख्स कौन है उसकी पहचान नहीं हो पाई है। तो ये बड़ी जानकारी सूत्रों के हवाले से हमें मिली है।
So what exactly happened in the Lok Sabha this morning? Now, proceedings were on. You had a BJP MP who was standing up and speaking, went from the visitors gallery, and we've tried to kind of enact what happened for you. You can see behind me the visitors gallery in the Lok Sabha. It's usually at a much higher elevation from which you can directly see the proceedings as well. Passes are required to get up there, and these can be, in fact, former MPs, they can be anyone, as long as they have a pass from a member of parliament. And it is from that spot that you can witness the proceedings. The visitors gallery is about 10 to 12 feet or maybe even more than that. This is approximately based on what we've seen and witnessed in parliament. So these 2 intruders actually jumped that height. They jumped 10 to 12 feet, and then you see what played out. Essentially where they ran, bolted for it, jumping from one bench to another to make their way towards the well of the house. But by then, it stopped. By then, all the MPs had gathered, and they stopped this man from getting any closer to the well of the house. Security officials detained him in a matter of seconds. But it is still hugely concerning that this person managed to get to the visitors gallery, jump down, had a smoke can in his shoe, which he removes also, as you can see in that footage. I want to give you first details of everything we know so far about this particular security breach. Look at this report.
Vaulting from table to table after leaping down from the visitor gallery, shouting slogans and releasing colored gas. A security scare inside the Lok Sabha on the 22nd anniversary of the terror attack on the old Parliament building. The breach occurred in the Parliament building inaugurated just 7 months ago. The intruders, armed with smoke canisters, made their way to the visitor gallery. They were subdued by MPs and on-duty staff. One identified as Sagar Sharma, who possessed a visitor pass issued in the name of the BJP MP from Mysuru, Pratap Simha. The other, a 35-year-old Mysuru engineer, Manoranjan D. India Today traced down Manoranjan's family.
ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯವನು, ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕ, ಸತ್ಯ. ಒಂದು ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾನು ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ತ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅವನು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದನ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳು ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳು ಓದೇ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಈ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನಗೆ.
When a state security lapse drew several criticism from the lawmakers.
हम जो सावधानी जो बरतना चाहिए था वो सावधानी हम नहीं बरतते हैं। हमारे जो पार्लियामेंट की जो सिक्योरिटी है सर, अपने जो सिक्योरिटी जो निहत्ते वो पुराने सदन को बचाने में सफल हुई थी, वो निहत्ते हमारे लोग आज कमी दिखाई दे रहे हैं सर।
Okay. On this day it's happening. It's very unfortunate that Indian Parliament has been attacked again. But 2 people jumped into the well with canisters in their hand which emitted a yellow smoke.
देखिए, जब ना पासवर्ड के लिए कोई रूल है ना पास के लिए कोई रूल है, पासवर्ड पे एमपी एक्सपेल हो गए, अब पास पे कहीं एमपी एक्सपेल ना हो जाए, मुझे इसकी फिक्र है।
The 2 intruders taken into custody and being questioned by multiple security agencies. but questions arise about the loopholes that allowed such an intrusion into the parliament. Bureau Report, India Today.
Absolutely shocking incident, and the more you watch that video, the more you realize how brazen that security breach actually was, that these two men managed to jump down from a visitor's gallery and run all the way through. It means that your basic security checks quite simply aren't being done. Let me take this across to Milind Sharma for more details. Milind, since this incident has been reported, since this video has come to light, there's been, of course, a slew of action that's been taken so far. Can you sum up for us all the steps that have been taken right now? And then I'll bring in Amit also on this broadcast.
Well, Akshita, of course, it's a very worrying incident that has happened inside the new Parliament building, and to say that there was a lot of security personnel present before the incident actually took place, because as we all know, this is the 22nd anniversary of the Parliament attack, and certainly the security personnel was there, the intelligence inputs was there, that there could be some kind of miscreant activity that could take place. Once it happened outside the Parliament, the similar modus operandi was carried out inside the Parliament. So for now, at least, visitor gallery passes have been suspended by the Speaker of Lok Sabha, as well as the security in and around the Parliament area has been heightened. We know that Neelam as well as Amol, the two people who orchestrated this incident outside the Parliament, have been detained and arrested by the Delhi police, and they have been kept in the Parliament Street police station where I am standing now. The other two accused, Sagar, Sharma and Manoranjan, have been kept inside the Parliament security area, because that comes under the jurisdiction of the Parliament security. And
so
for
they've
now,
not been questioned together, Milind. The claims are that all four of them know each other. Have they been questioned together?
Exactly. So now the Delhi police is questioning the two kept here, and the same team of Delhi police as well as the special cell of Delhi police along with the IB are questioning them all. So in the questioning, one of the main details that have been revealed is that they were planning this. It was a pre-planned attempt. Also the fact that all four have been given entry on an MP pass who belongs to the BJP, and his name is Pratap Simha, has also given a clarification in the Lok Sabha to the Speaker about how they actually got in. Of course, that coloured canister was hidden in one of the shoes of one of the accused, and how the security agencies couldn't check or detect that there was some kind of element that they were taking inside the Parliament.
Absolutely bizarre,
also being made part
and
of the investigation.
The reasoning given for that is that there are full body checks done, but frisking per se isn't done beyond. Like, your shoes aren't checked. Nobody's asked to remove their shoes, and footwear isn't checked, which is done in some airports as well, but not apparently in our Parliament. Amit Bharadwaj is also live with us. Amit, we played out that report in the morning. You were there when that incident took place outside Parliament. You've seen the footage now of what happened inside Lok Sabha. And when you compare to what you saw, what you witnessed outside, was it a similar modus operandi? Because both of them had these smoke cans, both of them unleashed it. Apparently, they raised some slogans as well.
Akshita, you know, we were the first to break that news that this kind of security lapse has happened right outside the Parliament, and it was around 12:30 to 12:33 when Neelam Kaur and Anmol Shinde, these were two individuals who suddenly started to raise slogans, Bharat Mata ki Jai, Jai Bhim, and Tana Shahi Nahi Chalegi, along with bursting color crackers right outside the Parliament reception gate, from where the parliamentarians enter the premises. And I was standing right in this Transport Bhavan Park, and so I rushed to the spot. I did speak to these individuals, to which Neelam had first responded with her name. She had also told that she does not belong to any specific organization, and said that her people's rights are being curbed, and that is why they are protesting. But after a couple of minutes, what we realized is that similar kind of security lapse has happened inside the Parliament, inside the Lok Sabha. Intruders have managed to jump on the floor of the House and have raised similar kind of slogans, have used similar kind of color canisters or color crackers. So it was very clear from that moment on, Akshita, that both incidences are related, and now Delhi police have also given a clear indication that it's a clear conspiracy by 6 people. 4 of them have been already nabbed.
They've confirmed that 6 people are involved right now. I want to also bring in Gaurav Sawant on this. Gaurav, it's extremely concerning, and I'd call it pure luck, honestly, that these people only had smoke cans with them. They could have been armed with a lot more, and they made it right into the Lok Sabha. They were there between the benches, between the members of parliament, and nothing, honestly, can justify this kind of a security breach.
You know, I spoke to several members of parliament immediately after this incident took place, and all of them who were there in Lok Sabha, the ones we spoke to, said this was a massive security breach. They could have been killed, they could have died had it been a poisonous gas, had it been some kind of poison gas instead of just this chemical from this canister. And even when this, foul-smelling fumes came out, Maluk Nagar, for example, of the Bahujan Samaj Party, and some others, they said it was dangerous, it was risky, and a huge breach in Parliament security. And why not? In 2001, when Pakistani terrorists had attacked the temple of our democracy, massive changes were made, you know, from barricades to stickers, different kind of stickers, to additional security, to a major revamp in security. But just look at all of it. Even though there was a specific intelligence alert, even though this was the anniversary, the 22nd anniversary of that attack on the temple of democracy, everyone was caught napping when these miscreants jumped into the well of the house.
Yeah,
they could have been terrorists, and it could have been worse.
Yes. The reality is that this was at a time of heightened security. And so there will be questions asked of the security apparatus right now. Milind, Amit and Gaurav, thank you very much for joining us. Also joining us here on India Today, we decided to get your voices from those who witnessed this firsthand. And joining us here is Mr. Maluk Nagar, who is a BSP MP who was there in the Lok Sabha, and he was even seen tackling that person when he jumped into the Lok Sabha. Maluk ji, आप थे लोक सभा में जब ये दो आदमी अंदर घुस गए. आप पहले हमको बताइए कि आपने क्या देखा, कि क्या एग्जैक्टली हुआ उस समय लोकसभा में.
नहीं, दो इकट्ठा नहीं था ये. जैसे ही 0 आवर खत्म होने को था और करीब करीब 5 या 6 मिनट रह रही थी, तो धड़ाम जैसी बहुत आवाज आई, जैसे कोई गिरा. तो हमने पीछे मुड़ के देखा, भाई किसी ने कोई धकेल दिया या पैर रिपट गया या गिर गया. तो देखा तो एक आदमी ऊपर से जंप कर रहा है. तो जिसने जंप करा वो तो नीचे गिर गया. इतने ही में एक पहला खड़ा होता है, और जिधर एमपीओ की जो बेंचेस होती हैं बैठने की जगह, और जिधर ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर, होम मिनिस्टर, ऑनरेबल सारे मिनिस्टर्स और ऑनरेबल स्पीकर बैठते हैं, उधर को भागा और पहला जंप लिया, दूसरा जंप लिया. तो उधर एकदम सब हक्के पक्के थे भी क्या हुआ. तो जब वो भागा उधर को और वो दूसरा कूदा, तो ये क्लियर हो गया 13 तारीख के जो घटना पहले घटी है उसी तरह की घटना है. पहले वो संसद के बाहर रोक लिए गए थे, आज ये संसद के अंदर आ गए और अब जान बचनी मुश्किल है. अफरा तफरी सी मची, सारे गेट पार्लियामेंट के खुले हुए थे, सब बाहर को ज्यादातर भाग लिए. तो उधर से हनुमान बेनीवाल और उधर से मैं भागा उसे पकड़ने के लिए, और 3-4 एमपी फिर और भागे हमारी तरफ को. तो उसे पकड़ा, और जैसे ही उसके नजदीक गए तो उसने जूता निकाला, और जूता निकाल के कुछ करा उसने. तो जैसे ही उसको दबोचा, पर वो इतनी देर में उसे कर चुका था, शायद वो कुछ खोल चुका था. वो उसको हम गैस बॉम्ब कहें या कलर बॉम्ब कहें, जो भी है, और उससे पूरे पार्लियामेंट में वो पूरा कलर नीले रंग का और पीले रंग का मिक्स होकर के और बहुत बदबूदार उस तरह का फैला. पर उसकी थोड़ा बहुत उस समय एकदम इंस्टिंक्ट था कि किसी भी वजह से ये था कि इस पे वेपन हो गए, सबको न मार दे, तो इसे दबोच लो. दबोचा और उसकी जैसे ही पिटाई शुरू की, फिर तो और 12, 14, 15, 20 एमपी और आ गए और सब पीटने लगे. तो आज की घटना तो बड़ी, उस समय का तो बड़ी डरावनी थी. और जब वो गैस निकला, जब वो कलर निकले, तो लग रहा कहीं आंखें ना चली जाएं, कहीं दम घुट के मर ना जाएं. तो बहुत ही डरावना समय था उस समय का. और पूरा का पूरा सिक्योरिटी फेलियर. और एमपी जिसने पास बनाया उसने भी आइडेंटिटी करके उनको नहीं भेजा वहां भी.
लेकिन मालूक जी, जैसे आप बोल रहे थे
जब मेन गेट के अंदर गए,
जब ये आदमी आ रहा था, आप उनको रोकने के लिए कोशिश की, तो आपको क्या डर नहीं लगा? क्योंकि ये जो धुआं आ रहा था वो कुछ भी हो सकता था. अभी तो पता चला कि वो सिर्फ कलर था, लेकिन उस समय तो पता नहीं था कि एग्जैक्टली क्या हुआ.
देखिए, सच बात तो ये है कि अब हम अगर बन के दिखाएं तो ठीक नहीं है. उस समय डर भी था और एक बड़ा डर भी था. तो दो डरों का टकराव हो रहे थे और बड़ा डर जीता। और बड़ा डर ये था कि ये तो सब भाग रहे हैं, अगर इसमें वेपन हुआ और इसने निकाल के वेपन और पीछे से सबको ठोक दिया तो सब मारे जाएंगे। इससे अच्छा ये जल्दी करके इसको वेपन निकालने की मौका ना दें और उसे दबोच लें। तो बेसिकली डर में ही वो एक्शन था और डर में ही वो कहीं ना कहीं पिटाई थी। अगर उसको हम अब दूसरी तरफ लेके अपना तारीफ करें तो ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। और वो घटना थी, ऊपर वाला साथ था, बढ़िया तरीके से पकड़ा गया। अगर मान लो वो स्पीकर की, ऑनरेबल स्पीकर की चेयर पे पहुंच जाता या जिधर प्राइम मिनिस्टर पहुंचते हैं वहां पहुंच जाता और इस गैस बम को वहां जाके छोड़ता तो परिस्थिति और भी बहुत ज्यादा खराब हो सकती थी वहां, क्योंकि वहां सिक्योरिटी के लोग तो होते ही नहीं अंदर, केवल वो होते हैं जो मार्शल होते हैं। तो वहां तो कोई पकड़ने वाला था ही नहीं, वो कहीं भी कुछ भी कर सकता था। क्योंकि ये तो अकल्पनीय है कि कोई व्यक्ति वहां तक पहुंच जाए या वहां तक घुस जाए, ये तो सोच भी नहीं सकते थे। तो बहुत डर था, एक डर से, वो एक ऐड देखते हैं, डर से आगे, वो डर से आगे वाला था जो जाके पकड़ लिया या उसकी पिटाई करी।
नहीं, वी टोटली सैल्यूट योर ब्रेवरी। लेकिन मालूक जी, जैसे आप बता रहे थे, अगर आपने और हनुमान बेनीवाल जी ने ऐसे उनको पकड़ नहीं लिया तो फिर क्या वो वेल ऑफ द हाउस तक पहुंच जाता? क्या मार्शल्स नहीं थे वहां पे? क्या कुछ सिक्योरिटी नहीं था?
100% पहुंच जाता, क्योंकि वहां सिक्योरिटी के लोग होते ही नहीं है, मार्शल होते हैं केवल। और वो भी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन का काम ज्यादा करते हैं और जो स्पीकर के साथ खड़े होते हैं बुलवाने का। और जब अगर कोई एमपी कुछ कर रहा हो तो उनको बुलाया जाता है। तो वहां तो बिल्कुल सब एक जैसे हो जाते हैं। वहां तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर भी और जो दूसरे मिनिस्टर्स हैं सब एक ही जैसी सिचुएशन में, एक ही जैसी हैसियत में बैठते हैं। सिक्योरिटी और सब चीजों को देखें तो एक ही जैसी चीजें रहती हैं वहां पे।
मेरे को ये भी समझ नहीं आ रहा है मालूक जी, जैसे मतलब लोकसभा में अगर आप देखोगे विजिटर्स गैलरी एटलीस्ट इट्स 10 फीट हाई, तो वो 10 फीट से कूद के फिर ऐसे भाग के जा रहे थे। तो एटलीस्ट 10-20 सेकंड के लिए ऐसे ही जा रहे थे भगा के।
नहीं, 10 फीट नहीं है, ज्यादा है। 10
उससे ज्यादा है,
10 फीट से ज्यादा है।
और इनको कुछ नहीं हुआ, ऐसे जंप मार के फिर आगे
20 के आसपास। नहीं, दूसरे को शायद हुआ, क्योंकि पहला तो जंप मार के आ रहा था, दूसरे वाला तो वहीं पकड़ा, शायद वो उठ नहीं पाया, फ्रैक्चर हुआ क्या हुआ, वो सिक्योरिटी वालों ने बाद में वहीं पकड़ा। क्योंकि एक्शन में तो एक ही आया, पिटाई तो एक ही की हुई, दूसरा तो वहां तक पहुंच नहीं पाया। तो जहां कूदा शायद वो वहीं का वहीं रह गया। क्योंकि जब सब पूरा एपिसोड होने के बाद जब उसे ले जाने की थी तो सिक्योरिटी वाले ले गए, तो एक को तो वहां ले गए जहां 55-60 एमपी बैठते हैं, वहां ले जाकर के उसकी पिटाई कर रहे थे। और दूसरा तो वहीं गेट पे, बिल्कुल पार्लियामेंट का जहाँ गेट होता वहीं पकड़ के उसकी वहीं पिटाई कर रहे थे। तो इससे लगता है कि शायद वो चलने की स्थिति में भी नहीं था और उसके फ्रैक्चर हो गया। जो इसका दर्शक दीर्घा है, पहली वाली जो लोकसभा थी उसमें क्या था कि जैसे पिक्चर हॉल में बालकनी होती है तो उसमें बालकनी थी और उसके वो काफी आगे तक 7-8 रो आगे तक आ जाती थी। तो उसमें कूदता अगर कोई तो एमपी के बीच में कूदेगा एमपीओं के। इस नई पार्लियामेंट में क्या है, जहां एमपी बैठते हैं उसके बीच में 5-6 फीट की जगह है और 5-6 फीट की जगह के बाद में दीवार है और दीवार के बाद ऊपर जाकर के वो दीवार के अंदर पिछली तरफ को बालकनी बनाई है। यानी कि जहां वो कूदेगा तो एमपीओ के बीच में नहीं कूदेगा, एक खाली जगह पे कूदेगा और खाली जगह पे कूद करके जब वो आगे की तरफ भागना शुरू किया जिधर ऑनरेबल स्पीकर, ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर बैठते हैं,
so according to Malik Nagar ji, he would have reached right up to the well of the house. Thank you Maluk ji for joining us here on India Today. VSP MP who ran towards this man and stopped him from going any further. I'd like to also bring in on this broadcast Karthi Chidambaram, Congress MP. Karthi, thank you very much for joining us here on India Today. Good evening. I just want to put out the picture of you standing there moments after that attack took place. You're seen standing as this yellow smoke around in the Lok Sabha, and it's unbelievable because that picture kind of, reinstates what's happened inside the Lok Sabha. You're seen standing there right next to Rahul Gandhi while there's plumes of smoke inside the Lok Sabha. Can you tell us what happened? You were in the house and suddenly these two men were inside with these cans in their shoes.
I'm sure you've heard this from many people. I mean, the 0 hour was happening in the Lok Sabha. I was slated to speak, so I was going through my notes. I suddenly heard a thud to the left of me. I thought that somebody had fallen down from the visitors gallery. But then when I saw that person get up and rush towards the speaker's chair, I also moved towards that person. But by the time I reached there, members in that area had restrained him. As he was being restrained, he pulled out a canister which gave out an yellow smoke like a substance came out of the yellow canister. As while this was happening, another person jumped down from the visitors gallery. He too had a canister with him which gave out yellow fumes. In hindsight, these fumes could have been toxic, could have been anthrax, could have been sarin, and then the consequences would have been very, very tragic and fatal.
You know, I see a lot of you, including you, of course, Karthi, standing about there. But did you not feel a sense of fear when you saw that yellow smoke going about? That this could be something much worse, as you pointed out.
This all was happening in really quick time. I think when this was really unfolding, it didn't really occur to me that it could be see, my initial reaction was that it was an accident, that somebody fell down. But then I realized that somebody had actually deliberately jumped in and they were moving towards the speaker's chair. I, for my wildest of imagination, didn't think that anybody could actually bring in a substance which could, which would emanate smoke inside the House of the Parliament. At that moment, it didn't occur to me. But then in hindsight, it does occur to me that this could have been very, very fatal and tragic. But this only tells you that our security systems are not robust, and the efficacy of the entire security protocol has to be reviewed, because the visitors are scanned, are frisked before they're let in, and they're not even allowed to bring in a mobile phone. So I do not know how these two people managed to smuggle in a canister which could give out these fumes. And they say that it was plastic, which means these scanners are not able to detect plastic substances. If they're not able to detect plastic substances, we know from knowledge that there are plastic explosives. From the Unabomber example, where he had plastic explosives in his shoe. So this really questions the efficacy and the robustness of our security protocols. And the Lok Sabha Speaker is the custodian of the House, and he is responsible for the House, and the government agencies, the Delhi Police and the CRPF, are responsible for security. So it's really up to the Lok Sabha Speaker and the government of India to answer for this serious breach.
You know, the question of how did these people get through the security check? Apparently, they don't make you remove your shoes, which we do even at the airport. And yet in the parliament, they're not making you remove your shoes. And that's why these men managed to smuggle these smoke cans inside the Lok Sabha, which is something that, you know, I can't wrap around my head.
They obviously had done. They had done a reconnaissance. They knew about this. That's why they're able to beat the system, which means that this is not some spontaneous act. This is a well-planned attack. I would term this as an attack. It's just that it did not have fatalities. And if they had much more serious substance in their canisters, it could have been very, very fatal. There were 100 members inside the House at that time. At least 100 members in the House at that time.
Essentially, that they weren't carrying something more lethal. But Karthi, I also want to ask you, because there's a lot of talk about how these intruders managed to get in. We know that the protocol is, of course, that they must have a pass. They had a visitor's pass that was sanctioned by a member of parliament. Is that easy to get? I just want to understand, you know, from an MP's office, is it easy to get a visitor's pass? Can anyone reach out and get it?
You are focusing on the wrong issue here. This is the parliament of the people of India. The people of India have a right to visit this parliament. This parliament has been built with their money. So we must make the parliament accessible to the average citizen of this country. Yes, an MP signs off the pass, but the MP is not issuing the pass. He's only signing off a request for the pass. The pass is given by the Lok Sabha Secretariat. Yes, the MPs can exercise some diligence, but if people come, it is normal for MPs to oblige them by signing the request letter. So while I know it is a BJP MP who signed off this pass, I don't want to pinpoint at him, because I know this is common practice that MPs will oblige anybody who requests for a pass. After all, it's the House of the people and people must go there. So I mean, I agree that maybe in the future we should double check on the people who we are signing off the pass. But I would not attribute any motives to the MP, and unless an investigation proves otherwise. The real failure is the frisking and in the scanning of the visitors into the parliament, and not in the MP making a request for the pass. Let's not focus on the wrong issues in this incident. The incident is about, and we should focus about the response time for the security team, the response time of the parliamentary staff, the screening, the scanning, and the frisking, and the marshals in the gallery area who are supposed to look and monitor the visitors who are sitting there.
You know, I appreciate the fact that you're saying, you know, I'm not going to politicize this and focus on the bigger issue here about security concerns, because there have been some who've been saying that it's because it's in the new parliament that there isn't adequate security.
The buck stops to the Lok Sabha secretariat. The buck stops to the Lok Sabha secretariat, for whose head is the speaker, and with the Delhi police and the CRPF, whose head is the Home Ministry. So these are the administrative heads of the agencies which are supposed to secure and to make sure Parliament is safe. I mean, the MP, yes, has made a request for a pass, but to blame the MP for this incident, I think would be erroneous on my part.
Okay. All right. Karthi Chidambaram, thank you very much for joining us here on India Today. You've, of course, said that there must be answers given on this kind of a security lapse. And I think everyone here today across the country would agree with that view, that whichever way you stand politically, at the end of the day, this kind of a breach is quite simply unacceptable. At this given point in Lok Sabha, there were nearly 100 members of parliament seated. And among that, these two men managed to jump bench from bench, as you see on your screens there, and almost made it to the well of the House. If it weren't for these very MPs who decided to stop him, to pin him down and ensure that he was taken away, marshalled away essentially. The other person, the other accused, according to what the MPs tell us, fell down because this was a height of 10 feet plus that they jumped from the visitors' gallery. So the other person got injured immediately. The first guy who jumped down, the intruder, managed to run all the way through but was stopped by a handful of MPs. As you see, they're truly, truly worrying image this, and one that hopefully will spark a slew of much-needed introspection on the kind of security being provided in Parliament. I'm going to slip into a very, very short break here on India Today. We'll be right back, getting you more details on this big story and asking those questions of our security apparatus and what was done and how was something like this so brazenly committed in the temple of democracy.
Today Group sweeps the ITA 2023 awards from Best English News Channel India Today TV to Best Hindi News Channel Aaj Tak, and the ultimate ITA Scroll of Honor for Nari Shakti Exemplary Leadership.
ये गर्व का मौका है कि मेरे नारी शक्ति के समर्थन और संकल्प को इस मंच ने और ताकत दी है। लंबे वक्त से बहुत से लोग ये बताते रहे कि एक आदमी की सफलता के पीछे एक औरत का हाथ होता है। अब वक्त बदला है। हर सफलता खुद हासिल करने के लिए हम सब आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। आत्मनिर्भर भारत की नींव आत्मनिर्भर नारी शक्ति ही बनेगी। एक नई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इस सम्मान के साथ मुझे मिली है। मैं इसे अपनी पूरी कमिटमेंट से निभाऊंगी।
Most trusted, most awarded, India Today, India's maximum channel.
There's been a significant development during the winter session. The Rajya Sabha on Tuesday had passed the Chief Election Commissioner and Other Election Commissioners Bill 2023. This will guide the appointment of the CEC and other commissioners. Now, the bill was introduced originally on 10th August, but there were concerns that were raised. For example, on pay disparity, and that by former CECs that had raised this concern. Now, the Union government introduced then an amendment. Now the salary and perks of the Chief Election Commissioner and the election commissioners will be maintained at the level of a Supreme Court judge. Moving the CEC Bill 2023, Law Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal said that the legislation has been brought in view of the Supreme Court judgment of March this year while hearing a PIL. But reacting to the bill and the introduction of it, it has become a huge political showdown. Senior Congress Member of Parliament Randeep Singh Surjewala said the proposed legislation completely violates the spirit of the Constitution that is enshrined in Article 14. Now, the bill is yet to be passed in the Lok Sabha. In March this year, the Supreme Court had given a judgment in which it had said Chief Election Commissioner and election commissioners must be appointed on the advice of the panel comprising the Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition and the Chief Justice of India. Has that been changed now? Now here's why the opposition party netas are charging at this bill. So what are some of the concerns possibly that will have to be taken into consideration and ensure Election Commission stays right on top with regard to its independence and freedom of practice? Now, is there a balance of power that also is being discussed here? Is it tilting towards a certain side? So that remains one of the big issues with regard to what the concerns have been expressed. Now, electoral governance alignment with farmers' intentions, for example. One, of course, the electoral governance in the sense that the Election Commission will take those decisions and then go ahead with regard to, for example, organizing elections and more. But also the misuse of power is there by selection committee. That is an allegation that has come in from the opposition as well, and we'll be tracking that big story too.
Air quality today. In Delhi, 417. In Mumbai, 121. In Kolkata, 223. In Bangalore, 78. In Chennai, 190. In Hyderabad, 86.
Welcome back. As we continue getting you all the updates on the serious, unprecedented security breach in Parliament, let's get you the details right now that we know of those men in the Parliament, the intruders inside Parliament. Two of them, one identified as Sagar Sharma and the other as Manoranjan. And here's the information we have so far about them. Sagar Sharma is 27 years old, while Manoranjan is 34 years old. He hails from Mysuru. And investigation is currently on. They have currently been detained by officials still in the Parliament complex, but they will be questioned by a Delhi police team soon. Now, remember that there were two incidents. Before what happened inside Parliament, outside Parliament, just moments before that, there was a similar attack that took place by two people, Amol Shinde and Neelam. The accused Neelam hails from Haryana's Jind and was preparing for the Haryana Civil Services. Now, all four of them, whether it's the incident that took place outside Parliament or the one that took place inside, the four accused knew each other. In fact, it isn't just a question of four people, but actually six of them. Two currently absconding, and officials are searching for them. They reportedly were all held and kept and were staying in Gurugram before this incident. So clearly, they had come together with the intention of carrying out this attack. That brings us to serious questions also that must be asked right now of how something like this could possibly even happen while the session is underway. And the first one obviously is that are we witnessing a massive intelligence and a security failure? Was a frisking, which is the most basic security measure, and a bag search not done? A full body frisk clearly wasn't done, and that's why they managed not just to enter the visitors gallery, but even carry a smoke can with them. Could intruder have easily then carried a weapon too? Because the scanners didn't detect the smoke can because it was plastic and because it was kept in the shoe. The also other question is about whether the frontline Lok Sabha security is clearly neglecting their duty, not going that extra mile when the House is in session at a high security time when there were threats being levelled at the Parliament, to go ahead and ensure every visitor is very carefully scanned. And has this now exposed the vulnerability of the new Parliament? The investigation is underway, but clearly there are questions being asked of the Parliament security apparatus. Will heads roll at the security service as well? What action will the Home Ministry take now? We're yet to hear really from the MHA, but let's see what happens, because the Speaker has said, I will ensure safety. So is this an individual's failure, or is it an agency that's failed and that's led to this kind of a serious security breach? These 8 questions we will wait for answers on, and the investigation will continue, but there will be a demand from us here on India Today to ensure there is 100% transparency, and we know exactly what led to this kind of a lapse. I'm slipping into a short break. We'll be right back with the latest on the all-party meet that the Lok Sabha Speaker also called on this.
Karan Johar and the fresh faces in Bollywood has become synonymous now. And this time, he's cooking up a storm with the new star kid, Jodi. Yes, that's right. Ibrahim Ali Khan and Khushi Kapoor will reportedly team up for Karan Johar's next project. As per reports, Sharma Gautam, who was Karan Johar's associate director on last outing Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani and previously assisted Rajkumar Hirani on Sanju, will direct the film. Although the title is still under wraps, the buzz is that this promising duo will grace the screens through OTT. Meanwhile, according to reports, it is going to be one of those romantic comedies that Hindi cinema is known for. Whereas on work front, Ibrahim Ali Khan assisted filmmaker Karan Johar on Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani and now is also set to make his acting debut with Sarzameen. The emotional thriller also features Kajol, Prithviraj Sukumar, Jatin Sarin and Tota Roy Chaudhary in significant roles. It's not unknown that filmmaker Karan Johar is known for giving faces, and in case you're unaware, the agency also welcomed the sensational actor Tripti Dimri, Bollywood's latest national crush, into its illustrious fold. So now the spotlight turns to the exciting duo, leaving fans on the edge, eager to discover if they will ignite the screen with the same brilliance or not. With Pranjali Sethi, Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
How do you remember what you recollect and what have you written in this book actually?
I have read in his diaries that for some time there seemed to be some tension and some sparks flying. But after everything, everything became normal. And one thing I learned, that these people, they knew how to manage conflict or how to manage disagreement. I think that is the most important thing.
In 2004, when he was on the verge of being a prime minister, but he mentioned you that they won't make him prime minister. What was that context?
That particular context was, in 2004, after Sonia Gandhi renounced her claim. So in the media, there was a lot of speculation about who is going to be the prime minister, and both my father's and Dr. Manmohan Singh's names were in the circulation. He wrote in his diary that Dr. Manmohan Singh is contesting from South Delhi. In all probability, he will win and it will be very good. He is a likely Congress prime ministerial candidate. So even in 1989 also, he perceived a situation that in case of a Congress win, Dr. Manmohan Singh is going to be the prime minister. So in 2004, it could not have come as a major disappointment to him. And he also told journalist Shumon Chatterjee that he did not have any expectation from Sonia Gandhi to make him the prime minister. And when there is no expectation, there is no disappointment.
Air quality today. In Delhi, 417. In Mumbai, 121. In Kolkata, 223. In Bangalore, 78. In Chennai, 190. In Hyderabad, 86.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Even as we report on the two security breaches that have been reported, one inside Parliament and one outside. Remember, the accused outside Parliament, Neelam, has been taken into custody, and farmer unions have now come out demanding Neelam's release. The United Kisan Morcha has actually defended accused Neelam, who you see on the right of your screens, moments after she let off a smoke can outside Parliament. Farmer leaders have claimed that Neelam was suffering from unemployment, so they're saying that she must be released immediately. Now, the allegation is that Neelam was even a part of the 2020 farmer protest. But this is the last kind of politics that we really need to see over this. On an issue of national security, when everyone must be coming together and demanding the interrogation, investigation against all of the four without any sort of bias, here you have farmer unions coming out and saying she must be released. Why? Because she was unemployed, and that's why she carried out something like this. The allegation is that she was even a part of the 2020 farm protests. We're going to continue tracking the latest on these reactions as well as investigation and the interrogation of the accused in this kind of a parliament breach. We'll be getting you the latest on the other side of a very, very short break. Preeti Chaudhary joining you with more on this.
प्रियंका जी, राज्यसभा में 14.04 और लोकसभा में 14.95% के आसपास अभी रिप्रेजेंटेशन है वुमेन का। आप चारों की जर्नी से भी मैं समझूंगी कि महिलाओं को, आपको क्या लगता है 10 साल पहले जब आप पॉलिटिक्स में आई थी और आज में कुछ बदला है, नहीं बदला है? क्या वाकई पार्टियां आज ईमानदार दिखती हैं, या चूंकि महिला वोटर डिसाइड कर रही है इसीलिए खुश करने के लिए 24 के पहले ये बिल पास कर दिया गया?
तो मैं कहूँगी क्योंकि महिला वोटर अब काफ़ी भारी संख्या में आती हैं और अपना निर्णायक वोट डालती हैं, तो उससे पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज़ को समझ आने लगा है कि महिलाओं की भागीदारी होना ज़रूरी है। पहली बात ये, अगर आप मेरी जर्नी की बात करेंगे, 10 साल में जो भी जर्नी रही है एज़ कम्पेयर टू वॉट जो अब आएंगी महिलाएं, हो सकता है हमने थोड़ी ज़्यादा लड़ाई लड़ी हो, पर इस बात की खुशी है कि वो लड़ाई हमने लड़ ली, उसका जो फल होगा आने वाली पीढ़ियों को मिलेगा। तो मैं मानती हूँ कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा महिलाएं आएँ। ये हमने रिजर्वेशन किया है, पर रिजर्वेशन से पहले अगर पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज़ भी, भले 2029 में कुछ लागू हो रहा है, आने वाले चुनाव में नोबडी स्टॉप्स एनी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी कि आप ये टिकट्स महिलाओं को दें। पर दुख इस बात का भी होता है, जब आपने कहा कि पावरफुल पोजीशन में, तो विजय राजे सिंधिया जी जो रही हैं वहाँ की मुख्यमंत्री राजस्थान की, उम्मीद थी कि एक महिला को भी ये अपॉर्चुनिटी दी जाएगी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की तरफ से। वसुंधरा राजे जी, उनको अपॉर्चुनिटी दी जाएगी, पर वो कहीं ना कहीं उनको उससे वंचित रखा गया, तो उस बात का दुख भी है।
माननीय सांसद जो थे तुरंत उन्होंने भी घेरा, उसको पकड़ा, तब तक उन्होंने जूता के अंदर से कुछ निकाल करके वो गैस जो होता है कलरफुल धुआं छोड़ने लगा। तो न्यूज बनने के लिए, कोई दृष्टि आकर्षण करने के लिए उसे किए थे, देखने से लगा। बाकी दोनों को पकड़ के मर्सल ले गए बाहर।
देखिए 0 आवर चल रहा था,
हम लोग अपनी बात रख रहे थे। अचानक गैलरी के अंदर से 2 आदमी कूद आए। कूदने के बाद उन्होंने अपने जूते में से कोई चीज निकाली, जिससे पूरी पार्लियामेंट के अंदर गैस फैलना शुरू हो गई। हमें शुबा ये है कि क्या ये कोई टॉक्सिक गैस तो नहीं है, कोई नुकसान तो आगे सांसदों को नहीं होगा, खुदा करे ना हो। लेकिन जितना बड़ा सिक्योरिटी लैप्स हुआ है आज, जूते में तो कोई छोटा बम भी ला सकता था।
क्या वो विजिटर्स गैलरी में बैठे?
विजिटर गैलरी में से कूदे थे।
हाँ।
तो अगर इस तरह से लैप्स होंगे तो पार्लियामेंट क्या हमारी सेफ है?
अर्जुन टीडे जी हैं जो गैलरी में खड़े थे वहां पे। सर, क्या घटनाक्रम हुआ, थोड़ा समझाइए। और जो लोग थे, 2 लोग वहां पर प्रोटेस्टर थे, किस तरह की नारेबाजी कर रहे थे?
एक्चुअली नारेबाजी कौन सी कर रहे थे मुझे समझ भी नहीं आया, उसका आवाज तो नहीं समझ में आ रहा था। लेकिन वो लोग पहले एक लड़के ने जंप किया, जंप करने के बाद वो कोशिश कर रहा था कि सभापति की ओर जाने की कोशिश कर रहा था। तो बहुत से एमपी लोगों ने, सांसद लोगों ने उसको पकड़ने की कोशिश की, तो उसको आधे तक निकल गया था। जब पकड़ते पकड़ते आधे तक निकल गया, बाद में सांसद लोगों ने ही पकड़ा उसको। उसके बाद में
जो प्रदर्शनकारी था, जब इसे छलांग लगाने की कोशिश की तो किसी ने दर्शक दीर्घा से वहां पे रोकने की कोशिश की, ऐसा कोई अटेम्प्ट दिखा आपको?
नहीं, ऐसा तो कुछ दिखा नहीं। लेकिन राइट साइड में, जो हमारे राइट साइड में गैलरी थी, शायद मैं 2 नंबर पे था।
हाँ, 2 नंबर।
है ना, 2 नंबर पे था, तो पब्लिक गैलरी 2 नंबर पे था। उसके बाजू में जो राइट साइड में जो गैलरी थी, वहां से उसने जंप किया था। ये जंप करने के बाद आधे तक निकल गया वो कुछ ऐसे। तो उसके बाद में दूसरे ने भी जंप किया वहां। फिर दोनों ने, 2 लोग थे जंप करने वाले, 2 लोग थे उसमें।
क्या हालात बन गए इसके बाद, ये जब कूदा पानी हंगामा शुरू हुआ?
सब डरा होना चाहिए, तो हो गया था। सब डर रहे थे, सब लोगों के अंदर क्या हो रहा है ये सब। बाद में जो पीला धुआं हुआ, पूरा धुआं हो गया वहाँ।
और डर हुआ जब इस तरह का रंग आया, फ्यूम आया।
फ्यूम लगाने के बाद ऐसा लग रहा था कि ये क्या है, मतलब यह केमिकल है या क्या, कुछ समझ भी नहीं आ रहा था ना।
जी जी। एक आखिरी सवाल सर, जब ये कूदाफानी हुई वहां पे और जब उनको पकड़ा गया, उसके बाद सुरक्षा कर्मियों ने क्या एहतियात बरते, आप लोगों को क्या इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया गया?
इंस्ट्रक्शन लोगों ने सिर्फ इतना दिया कि जहाँ बैठे हो वहीं बैठे रहो, जहाँ खड़े हो वहीं खड़े रहो, बाकी हिलना मत यहाँ से कोई भी। फिर सुरक्षा कर्मी आ गया, उनको दोनों को पकड़ा, दोनों को बाहर लेके गए। फिर बाकी लोग को सुबह एक एक करके सब आप गैलरी से बाहर निकलो। फिर गैलरी खाली हो गया पूरा।
हमारे डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर ही क्या सेंसस को अपोज कर रहे हैं, वो भी कर रहे हैं और इन्हों भी कर रहे हैं।
A remark by Congress President Manoranjan in Parliament has ended up exposing the divide within his party over the Karnataka caste survey report. Kharge made the comment on Monday when poked by BJP leader Sushil Kumar Modi over when the pending report will be made public. Karnataka Deputy CM D.K. Shivakumar had recently signed a letter to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah by a Vokalika organization demanding a fresh caste survey. Reacting to Kharge's statement, Shivakumar denied opposing caste census.
Morning viewers, let's take a look at the weather report across the major cities this evening. Thiruvananthapuram is at 30 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 117. Mumbai is at 32 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 101. Panji is at 30 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 137. Ahmedabad is at 26 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 147. Bhopal is at 23 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 101. Jaipur is at 23 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 160. Delhi is at 20 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 280. Srinagar is at 8 degrees Celsius with AQI being 121. Lucknow is at 21 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 208. Patna is at 23 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 230. Kolkata is at 22 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 162. Hyderabad is at 25 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 108. Bangalore is at 26 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 100. Chennai is at 27 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 118. This is all we have for you in this segment. Hope wherever you are, you find favorable weather around you. Keep watching India Today for all the weather updates with me AI Sana all through the day.
Co-presented by आपका जॉय भारत का जॉय जॉय ई-बाइक. Co-presented by Nexa Create Inspire. Co-powered by Parul University वडोदरा गुजरात. ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India बनाऊंगा मैं बनेगा भारत.
You are watching India Today.
Good evening, viewers. You're watching India Today. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. An unforgivable security lapse where our parliament was concerned, bringing back memories of what happened in 2002 on the same date, 13th December. Our top focus, we're going to get you the latest on that. But first up, let me take you through the headlines. India Today accesses first images of the two intruders inside Lok Sabha. One accused identified as 27-year-old Sagar Sharma. Second accused is 34-year-old Manoranjan from Mysuru. 6 in all. Two protesters who set off smoke canisters outside Parliament identified as Amol and Neelam. 6 accused planned Parliament breach, all detained.